YouTube. I wish I was on a boat right now. Instead, I'm heading to work. I could be out on a boat on this beautiful Easter Sunday, fishing, enjoying the sun, enjoying life. Alright, a guy on a cruiser gave me the motorcycle wave. And I guess that even makes me more happy because typically you don't get a lot of, if you're riding a sports bike anyway, you don't get a lot of wave backs from guys on cruisers. You know, I wave at everybody. I don't care if you're on a cruiser, if you're on a sport bike. I've even waved at scooters. Just cause, man, I don't really care. I've waved at people on bicycles. If you're on two wheels, you're cool in my book. And yeah, so you don't normally get a lot of wave backs from guys on like Harleys and whatnot. So when you meet one that's, you know, cool enough to actually give you the wave back, it's like, all right, man, my hat is off to you. My helmet is off to you. So yeah, back to this boat thing. It seems like every day that I have to go to work, by the way, that little yellow sticker on there looks like a PSA sticker. Every day that I'm on my way to work, it seems like it's the most beautiful day ever created. It's as if God is laughing in my face because he knows I have to work. Therefore, he creates this glorious, magnificent day just to laugh at my misfortune. I did a bunch of maintenance to my bike recently. If you keep up on Instagram or whatnot, you probably know. But I did a whole bunch of different things to it. First of which is I finally switched to GP shifting, which on my upshifts, it's really improved on shifting times. But yeah, I'm still getting used to it, so sometimes when I mean to upshift, I downshift, and then the revs go way out of control. But it's pretty nice. The other added benefit I can think of is if somebody were to try and steal my bike and get on it, they probably wouldn't recognize that it's GP shifting right away, and they'd stall it out or something. So it'd take them a minute before they realize I have GP shifting. So that's a few more minutes I have to try and find them or catch up to them. I also, you know, just did an oil change. I flushed the radiator fluid on this bike. I was still running the stock radiator fluid, and I've been having a lot of problems, especially down here in Miami. It gets so hot, and the R1s typically run really hot to begin with. And I would, you know, if I was stuck in traffic, you know, stop and go, or I'm just sitting in 90-degree heat or worse, plus with all the heat of all the surrounding cars and the humidity, my bike would start to overheat. It would hit, I think the red light turns on at like 245 degrees, and it would hit that, and it would keep on climbing. It would hit 250. If I let it keep going, it would keep rising. Of course, I wouldn't. I would pull over somewhere and sit down and just hang out and have a, you know, have a Coke and a smile. Just kidding. I'd have a beer. But yeah, it would get really hot, and you know, I just thought maybe that was, well, I thought it was typical of R1s. And then what really started the process of thinking was when Downshift came down to Miami. He and I were riding around, and we have the exact same bike. His is a 2009, I believe. Mine's a 2012. But essentially same body style, same everything. And you know, we were riding around in the same exact traffic, going the same exact speed, and my bike was like 30 degrees hotter than his, or more. I was hitting that red light while he was perfectly fine. And what he was telling me was he was running engine ice in his bike. So finally I got around to flushing the bike. I flushed the coolant, and I went to my bike shop, and they didn't have engine ice at the moment. They were sold out of it. But I bought the Motul Motocool, and it seems to be working fantastic. keeping the bike nice and cool. I'll give you, I guess, a further report, you know, once I actually have to sit in bumper to bumper, you know, not moving traffic. So I did the oil, I did the radiator fluid, GP shifting. I also had to get new tires. I put new tires on my baby because I had a flat, and I didn't really realize it until it was too late. Well, not really. I was riding home one day, and I'm taking turns, and my rear end of the bike, I felt like I couldn't lean into the turn, and it felt really sluggish, and so I wasn't very far from home. So I got home. I just drove kind of slow, and when I parked the bike in my garage, I pushed my thumb into the back tire, and literally it depressed into the back tire. And so I was like, oh crap, you know, I guess I have a flat. But I wasn't entirely certain if it was a flat or maybe just my air pressure was really, really low and it needed to be filled. So I was like, all right, you know, I'm going to leave it in my garage overnight, and if the pressure is still the same, then chances are it's just really low and I need to fill it, which I can't see why it would be that low, because it's not like I don't take care of my bike. But if it's flat, then, you know, I gotta get it to the shop, and I gotta fix the flat. Gotta get a new tire. So I wake up the next morning, I check the bike, and it's perfectly in this, you know, not fine, but it's in this exact same pressure, I guess. It looked exactly the same as when I went to bed. And, you know, I push my thumb in, it's still depressed, but no more than the night before. So I take it to the shop, and when I get to the shop, I was gonna have them just put a little bit of air in it for me, and I had to pick up a couple of other things while I was there. And the guy who was, you know, checking it out, putting air in it for me, my mechanic, he comes back and tells me, he's like, hey man, you got a hole in your tire. So he tells me I got a hole in my tire and that I need to get it replaced. So I was already kind of looking into buying tires because I knew I was going to need them in a bit anyway. But I wasn't prepared that day to have to spend the money on tires. But, you know, shit happens. And so the tires I ended up getting, what I had on there previously was a set of Pirelli Angel GTs, which I really liked. That tire. It lasted really long. But my shop didn't carry the Pirelli Angels. They don't carry Pirelli at all, as a matter of fact. So what I ended up getting was the Michelin Pilot Road 4, which just came out fairly recently. And I gotta say, I am really, really liking this tire so far. It goes into turns smooth as butter. It's really, really nice. I haven't had an opportunity to see how the traction is in the wet yet, because supposedly they are the best tires for wet road conditions. So I haven't really had a chance to test that yet, but you know, now that I've broken them in a little bit, I've taken them on a couple of turns, and man, it goes in and out of that turn and just holds traction and comes out of the turn just as smooth as can be. Really, really nice. They were a little bit more expensive than some of the other tires I was looking at, but you know, I can honestly see why now. And with a little bit of luck, I'll get some really good mileage out of them. I mean, they're road tires, so they're dual compound. You know, they're meant for commuting, which is what I do. So then lastly, one of the things that I did was the cover that covers the front sprocket. I took that off because I had intended on cleaning on the inside there. I had never actually cleaned in there, and I just recently got a new chain and new sprockets, and so, you know, I wanted to open it up and make sure everything in there is good to go. And God, it was disgusting opening that thing, covered in just gunk and all kinds of crap in there. And so I cleaned it out. It took like a can of degreaser for me to get all of that crap out of there. But But it looks great now. And I left the cover off because I think it looks nice to be able to see, you know, how it actually goes all the way through to the front sprocket and everything. So I'll see if I can throw a picture in right now, and that way you could see how it looks without the front sprocket on there, or without the cover on the front sprocket rather. And honestly, you know, people wonder why their chain gets so dirty so quickly after they wash it. It's because of that. I mean, Jesus Christ, guy, what are you doing? Jumped the gun there a little bit, huh? So yeah, people wonder why their chain gets so dirty, and when they wash it, it's because it runs through that front sprocket, and that front sprocket is covered with, really? You had to come all the way out to my lane. Of course. So yeah, that front sprocket is covered up with that shielding. Alright, I got another wave today from another cruiser. How about that? Back to the sprockets. So yeah, that front sprocket's covered with that shielding, and it holds in all that road grease, and it holds in chain lube, and all kinds of crap builds up in there, and you don't actually get in there to clean it. You clean the chain, but then once the chain's clean, it still runs through that front sprocket and picks up all that shit. So it pretty much defeats the purpose. Take that thing off one day and clean it out on your bike, because it is bloody disgusting. What's up, man? Look at that, man. Today is the day of the cruisers. I couldn't wave at him because I had my hand on the clutch because I was in gear, but I gave him the good old head nod, and he gave me the head nod and the little peace sign. Nice. I'm feeling popular today. Come on, what the fuck, really? Alright guys, well I guess I'll catch you on another vlog. Gotta get my ass to work, make some money. Peace.